Hello, everyone. We have an exciting new book to launch. What an amazing book is this is the Fearless Advisors Playbook. This is something that everyone's going to want to grab in their hands. It's the 7 steps to drive your firm beyond compliance. So we have today two of the authors, Mark and Matt. Welcome.
Thank you, Susan.
Thanks, Susan.
So today we're going to go through and ask Mark and Matt a few questions so that people can really get an understanding of what is held in this book, all the information, but also a little bit about why it's so important for you to sort of learn more about this advisor's role. So I'm going to throw this one out to you, Matt. Your book centers on the idea of being fearless. What does that really mean in the context of modern accounting, and why is it so critical right now?
Yeah, it's a great question. I guess for us, Fearless is pushing ourselves as accountants out of our comfort zone and really leaning into the human side of the business and understanding that our clients need our support outside of just tax advice. We're living in a fast-paced world. A lot of changes happen quickly, and our clients are looking to us as an industry to really help them tackle those changes and beyond just tax requirements. So understanding that they may have other questions, they're not sure who to turn to. And we should really be embracing our role as a trusted advisor and owning that by making sure that we're not just staying in a small compliance space, but making sure we're understanding our clients. And if that is a little bit uncomfortable for us, that's okay. The concept of being fearless is really about saying, I can offer more and I do have more value to provide here, and leaning into that and owning that.
Yeah, absolutely love that. And I think as a business owner myself, that it's not just about the accounting, it's definitely about feeling that you've got that trusted person to explore a little bit more with. So I absolutely love this book and think every accountant really needs to, and many more need to get this book. But I'm going to throw this one at you, Mark. Why do you think so many firms know they should do this? They should move into advisory, but they just still don't. What's the big leap from being an accounting firm to an advisory?
Yeah, great question, Susan. Look, I think inherently when we decided to go into this industry, we didn't go into this industry because we wanted to sit there and pound out tax returns day in, day out, but we sort of morphed into that behavior. Deep down, I know I went into the accounting industry because I wanted to help people. I wanted to drive more successful client businesses. I wanted to make businesses more valuable tomorrow than they were today. And in order to do that, business owners need to understand all the key trigger points that are necessary to improve their business. Why don't firms do it enough? Well, for the last 40 years, I've been talking about this. The frustration is I still am. But what we have done with the book is to put those thoughts into writing for everyone. It comes back to three things, in my opinion. It's lack of systems, lack of process, and lack of resources. And the key resource is human resource. But if I was to cut it back even further, I'm a strong believer that there are more firms looking to do advisory or wanting to, wishing to, hoping to, than I've seen in the last 25 years. But the same chicken and egg problem still exists. And that's a lack of commitment to change their model so their model adapts a multidisciplinary type approach to how they do business with clients, as in the old accounting and tax. Let's not forget that's our core business. But then what extra can I add on to be able to take that client on a journey? Because I've always seen myself as a financial storyteller to get a better, more successful, better business. But the other C after commitment is capacity. We're busy people. We have existing staff. They're doing a good job doing what they do day in, day out in our core activities. We've got to look outside what I call the 9 dots, which sort of starts on that perimeter of your heads, and look outside that and say, okay, how can I make this happen in my firm? And how can I make at least my top 20% of clients happier and stickier with our services in the future? And it might come back to looking at a totally new structure. It might come back to building a division in your firm. But you cannot take a square peg and stuff it into a round hole. and you cannot take people that are already super busy and make them busier. Because what will happen is you'll start like that and it will fade just as quick.
Yeah, I love that because it's true, especially now in the world where we are overwhelmed with all this AI and all these things happening. We're wanting to turn to the one person, like you said, not just doing all the tax returns, but how do they become more humanized? That's going to be the point of difference in any business now, especially in accounting. If you've got that loyalty because you've created that humanized connection and advisory service, it's going to create those loyal customers that will be staying with you. And I know that you mentioned the 7-step enabler process, something that you've created. What makes it different from other approaches?
Susan, to be honest, great question as well. Could I just go back a fraction? One thing that I wanted to add in this question, but also the previous one, good friend of ours did, a good friend of both Matt and my, Paul Dunn, did a introduction to the book, and he quotes, "We're not in the business of reporting history, we're in the business of creating it." And I think that's the difference, and that's what the client needs, and that's where the accountant of the future has to think. The enabler process simply goes back to what I said earlier. What's the three things? System, process, people. Maddie and I can give you the systems and the processes from 40 years of doing this day in, day out in our firms, let alone with a huge number of firms we've consulted to. But accountants love systems. We love structure. We love order. And in order to get that, we need to have a process. Those 7 steps, what makes them different is they were built on practice in an accounting firm. They weren't built by thinking about something, reading something and putting it in. And they were certainly built well before the days of AI and ChatGPT, Susan. But it's a structured approach to getting your systems and processes right and integrating your people when the time is necessary. And when I talk people, I'm talking right person, right task, right pay rate. Is it different than others? Well, it's always staggered me that nobody else has tried to do it over the years. But funny story, this one started when my ex-business partner and I were coming back from New Zealand. We did a conference and he said to me on the flight, "Why do you think so many firms fail at the very early stages?" And I said, "Well, they haven't prepared their firm for success, which is step 1 of enabler. And if you don't get step 1 right in the enabler process, nothing else works. You might get a little bit of activity, but it will fade. You might get a little bit of interest, but it will fade again. It's getting your act together, focusing on commitment, capacity, working out who's going to do it, what you're going to do, how you're going to do it, how you're going to price it, and something else, which is step 2, and that is how to unlock the client's needs, how to take them on a journey, how to get them to want to sign a proposal. Because I'm a little bit of a realist. If I don't sign a proposal, there's not much point worrying about how I do something because you haven't got anyone to do it with. And there's not much point in going out and buying software because you haven't got anyone to practice it on apart from yourself. So this structured process works in a very logical sense. Steps 1, 2, 3, and 4 get you to the starting gate. 5, 6, and 7 are your value adds, your add-ons, the extra stuff I can do. 2, 3, and 4 are the engagement steps. Create a disturbance in the client's mind. Some are naturally disturbed, by the way, but you've got to create that disturbance. Unlock their needs. Step 2, create a disturbance. Step 3, analyze their performance, which is the one every accountant loves, Susan. Accountants love analyzing. They love spreadsheets. We do spreadsheets when there's absolutely no need to do a spreadsheet. That's how good we are at it. But
I love that. I love
we're
that.
structured. We're process driven when it comes to tax compliance and financial statements. I just thought when I put this together, why change that behavior? Why not get the same structure in place? And that's what the enabler process will take you on a journey, but it's a journey that I followed in my firm with great success. Matt followed in his firm with great success. So it's all built on practicality, not on
Yeah, I
not
love
on
that. And
concept.
experience. You've worked with so many businesses and it's been tested and proven and 100%. And if people want to get in there and follow the 7 steps to drive their firm beyond compliance and to really they need to grab the book, don't they? And they need to implement it, which is really important. Now, I want to throw this one at you, Matt. How do you build trust quickly with clients when stepping into that more advisory role? And what would you say the biggest transformation firms are experiencing when they get this right? As we said, you've done this with many firms. So tell me, what is the advantages when they get it right, and how do they build this trust?
Yeah, a lot of firms probably don't realize the trust they already have with their clients. I think to really make sure that you're giving that the respect it deserves, you have to be inquisitive and you have to be honest as well. So ask questions and try and get your clients thinking, but also don't be scared to say, I'm not sure when the client asks you a question back, and be vulnerable enough to say, I can find out. But if you are problem solving in your orientation and you're inquisitive and you just want to help, that is the easiest way to build trust. It's not difficult in that sense. You just have to want to be a good human helping another good human. The biggest thing that we see with firms that take this approach and follow the 7 steps, they find that it's exponential in the way that it grows, because once the clients start to see that you really care about them and you're really just trying to help them, they will build a better business. They will be more successful. They will need more of your help. They will not be able to handle the new challenges that come across their desk. So rather than just going through the motions of trying to help them with some tax planning or something like that year on year, they really do start to lean in. I've got a problem in all of these different spaces and I want you to be at the forefront of helping me, whether that's through a service that you offer or whether that's through an introduction to someone that may be able to help that's inside your referral network. That way, you are the first person that they come to see for help. And that allows you to then not have to go and hunt for new clients constantly, because you can really focus on the clients that you already have great relationships with. And as they need you more, your fee base will also grow. I think that's the most pleasant side of it, is if you are just helping your current clients do really good things and build really special businesses, they will lean into using more of your services and being more reliant on your help. And that's going to help you grow your own business in turn.
Absolutely. I mean, as they know, it takes a while to get a client, but once you've got a client and you've got that trust there, it's then just scaling it. So absolutely. And I think you're right. We trust our accountants. They're doing all those spreadsheets for us. Why not ask them, especially when it's coming to finance, how else they can help you? So I think that's great advice. Now, you've got a strong and clear message throughout the book. What inspired the idea to write the book, and how was the process? You've got both of your minds together. Actually, we've got a third person supporting you in around this, but what was the process like? And also, how exciting is this to get it out there? But tell me what inspired you to write the book.
Yeah, for me, it was very much around being proud to be an accountant and really thinking back on people in the community that I grew up in that were respected and really helpful. And one of the biggest people in the community was the local accountant, and really owning that space and being able to be proud of that. I think we have, over the last few years, got a bit of a bad reputation as potentially boring, when I don't think that's true. I think we're conservative, and that's a great thing because of the work that we do, but that doesn't mean that we can't be really helpful. And so it was about giving back to the industry, which has allowed me to this point in my career have a lot of fun and have a really full career, and helping young people come into the industry as well as existing firm owners really get back to enjoying what they do and being really proud of what we do as an industry. So that was probably my inspiration for wanting to get this out there. The process of writing it, we were incredibly lucky to work with Jess, who's the third author of the book. Jess is a journalist by trade. And so for Mark and I, it was really easy. Essentially, we were able to have a conversation about what we're passionate about and what we love. Much of what you're experiencing right now, you can hear we can both talk for days on this topic. And Jess was able to distill that into the written word. So the process was a lot of fun, first and foremost. It was a mix of nerves, but also genuine excitement to get to this point. And if people are thinking about doing that, just have a go, because ultimately we can all learn from each other. Everyone's got great ideas, but until we find a medium for getting it out there and sharing it, they're just great ideas in our own mind. And look, if it doesn't land with everyone, that's okay. I'm just really proud that we've been able to do this. I feel like it's a huge achievement. And there are very different ways of getting this done. Susan, obviously your team and helping there, that's been a great part of the journey as well, having the support on that. But really just find a way to get the ideas out of your head and into some sort of written form, and you will find the people that can help you turn it into an amazing book like we've done.
Yep, I love that. And how many people this is going to help in not only the accountants that are growing their business, but they're helping others grow their business. So it's really that ripple effect, which I love. A last question for you, Mark. What can people expect from you guys in the future? What can people expect from accountancy firms in the future?
Oh, great question, Susan. I just want to pick up on what Maddie said too. I think that's just so appropriate. I know why Maddie got involved, because he's a fantastic operator, one of the best accountants I've ever had the privilege of working with, and the most successful advisory accountant I've ever worked with in 40 years. I'm an old bloke. I just wanted to sort of put some thoughts of all of the last 40 years down on paper. But I wanted to work with a partner who hasn't just thought about it, he's gone out there and done it. I think the industry needs to model itself on someone like Matt Feehan. Not only is he a great accountant, he's a great bloke. From us in the future, it's an interesting one. We've, at Smith Inc., run an event called Young Guns. Matt and I have decided to continue that, and it'll be in October this year. It'll be like a Young Guns 2, because we've run that Young Guns event for 15 years. It's called the Fearless Leaders Program. And I hope I got that right, Matt, because I muck it up every time I say it. So we want to continue on, Susan, with developing the younger accountants, the up-and-coming managers, partners, leaders of the industry. We've often found that to become a manager in an accounting firm, you just need to hang around long enough. Eventually you'll get a start. But we want to sort of get more education into that. With firms looking to start the advisory journey or continue it or enhance it, the book is a very structured way of doing so, based on my firm and also Maddie's firm in the past. Additionally, we've launched an organisation called M2 Academy. You see Matt's wearing his jacket there. I'm in Sydney. It never gets cold in Sydney. Matt's in Melbourne, hence why I'm in a polo shirt. But it's looking into helping some of the accountants in practices, focusing heavily on developing some of the younger guys, because it's fine to come and do a 2-day event, but then articulating that behaviour back into the workforce is the challenge. So we're looking to help and develop in a sort of user group concept with M2 Academy, and continue on with what we're doing to help accounting firms build better, more successful businesses with strong strategy, but also helping them take that leap from I want to do advisory to I am doing it in a very structured, scalable manner. And ultimately, at the end of the day, is also extremely profitable. So look out for the future.
Yeah, I love that, because you're really bringing the youth along and getting them excited. And yeah, I'm sure that there's a few stories you, Mark and Matt, can tell me about a few beers out there having fun. Not all accountants are boring, but I absolutely love you bringing in the young ones and making it, educating them, and or anyone for that fact that wants to move into that. So it's a great expansion on that. But the first thing that they can do is grab this book and really get the foundations of it all. And then from there, there's lots of opportunities in the book for them to reach out, scan, get some additional resources in there that they can get along the way. And also, like I said, reach out. But there's some great QR codes in there that bring people across to some more videos and information. So thank you so much for trusting in us to get your book complete and out there into the market. It's a great buy, and yet some good, solid advice. And of course, Paul Dunn, good friend of mine too, has done the forward. And it really is about bringing that humanness and scalability to the practice. So thank you so much. And yeah, grab a copy. And if your accountant needs some pushing along, I know I'll be getting my book and giving it to my accountant and pushing them along. So grab a copy and gift it to your accountant. I think that might be a good one to do as well.
Great idea, Susan.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much. And the links will be below for anyone to purchase the book and get involved. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks, Susan.